Hi, episode 4 of Let's Bake and Cook Stuff. Guess what we're cooking today? We are cooking in the slow cooker bread pudding. Normally my bread pudding calls for wheat bread, but I had some hot dog buns that I wanted to use up. They've been sitting out. We don't eat hot dogs that often, so I cut the hot dog buns up and used those. And I had a couple. I do have a couple of pieces of wheat bread in there, but yeah, we're gonna try that. We're gonna bake and cook stuff today in the slow cooker, and hopefully you're gonna enjoy that. So let's bake and cook stuff. Right now, the first thing we're gonna put in here is it's 1 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Okay, then we have 1 stick or 1/2 cup of melted butter. I just melted it in the microwave in this bowl. So, and then we're going to put in 3 eggs. I already beat these eggs up a little bit. This is the good stuff. 1/4 cup of whiskey. This is Jim Beam. Oh no, I'm lying. It's Jack Daniels. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. If you don't have the whiskey, you can leave it out. I've actually made it many times without it. I'm going to stir this up first. Get this nice and incorporated. And we're going to add our spices. This is seriously one of the easiest things you will ever do, especially for the return on it is so great. I mean, this stuff is really good. This is one of my favorite things to make. It's my favorite way to make bread pudding. I don't really do it another way, to tell you the truth. Okay, now I said I have spices next, but next up is milk. This is actually 2 cups of milk and 1/2 cup of heavy cream. As long as you have 2 cups of liquid, you're going to be fine. So if you have 2.5 cups of milk, or if you want to put a whole cup of heavy cream in there, whatever floats your boat in that regard. Okay, so now we have our liquid stuff nice and incorporated. Now I'm going to add our spices. This is 1/2 tablespoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and it's a 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You can change those any way you like. If you like more cinnamon, see, I like a lot of cinnamon. I actually, I used to make this, and I put a lot less cinnamon in it. I started, well, a lot less. It was like a teaspoon, and now I put 1/2 tablespoon, which is 1.5 teaspoons. And I actually just started putting the salt in. I think the salt adds a little more, salt just brightens everything up. It makes everything more flavorful. I don't know why, but if you don't want to put that in there, then you feel free to leave that out. Okay, so we're actually done. So this is another one of those where I'm kind of almost embarrassed to show you. We're done, except we still have to put it in the slow cooker, and then it's gonna cook. And we're going to I have my bread in here. I already showed you my hot dog buns cubed up, and my 2 slices of bread. And I want all of that sugar in there. And then this is going to go in the slow cooker, 3.5 to 4 hours. I'm going to push this down a little bit in here because I want to make sure that all this bread gets soaked in there. And you could add nuts to this. You can add raisins. I like raisins in it. Dave doesn't like raisins. He's probably not going to eat this anyway, so I should probably go ahead and put raisins in it. But anyway, because he's real good about not eating dessert. I like having dessert every day. So I don't have it every day, but I like having it every day. But yeah, he probably won't be eating it anyway. I'm going to be putting it in the slow cooker. It's going to be in there 3.5 to 4 hours. Then we're going to come back, and you are going to see what it looks like to have hot dog buns turned into bread pudding. Well, it's been a couple of hours, actually a little over 3 hours. I'm not sure if I said the time correctly. It's actually supposed to be about 3.5 to 4 hours. It's been about 3 hours and 20 minutes. So I'm gonna, in about 10 minutes, come back, and we are going to talk about bread pudding made with hot dog buns and wheat bread. How cool is that? Hi. Do you ever wish you had bread pudding sooner than 3.5 to 4 hours? Well, if you did, you're certainly welcome to put it in the oven. You can put it in a 9x13 pan that's been buttered, or spray it with the nonstick spray, and 350 degrees for a half hour, 45 minutes. Then you don't have to wait 3.5 to 4 hours like me. Well, would you look at this? We have bread pudding. And I'm talking about leftover hot dogs, buns, and a couple pieces of bread, some sugar, some whiskey, some vanilla, some spices, oh, some eggs, milk, and now we have bread pudding. To tell you the truth, these hot dog buns probably would have been tossed eventually because, you know, we weren't going to be eating any hot dogs anytime soon. And there you have it. Some delicious bread pudding. It has a brown sugar sauce on it. Has that whiskey sauce in there. Well, this whiskey that made sauce. And it's a good way to use up leftover bread. Or if you have some, if you like, it doesn't even have to, I mean, I used the hot dog buns, okay? You don't have to do that. You can, my recipe, I'll actually put it in the description box. But my recipe is actually wheat bread. You use wheat bread, but I used the hot dog buns because we had them sitting there for a couple weeks on the counter, and I was like, you know what, I'm not throwing these away. I paid for them. I spent my money on them. I'm using them. And so now I'm eating them as bread pudding. You can put a lot of stuff in bread pudding, by the way. I saw somebody making bread pudding out of donuts. That's just wrong. But do you want to be right? Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, please. Press that bell so that you get notified when I put new videos up. I'm going to be trying to do at least a couple of them a week. Right now I'm doing them every day. So, all right. Thanks. Appreciate you.